a whole hearing about a 24-hour hiccup in a right-wing political operation. That is why we are here right now. And it's just an abuse of public resources, an abuse of public time. We could be talking about health care. We could be talking about bringing down the cost of prescription drugs. We could be talking about abortion rights, civil rights, voting rights. But instead, we're talking about Hunter Biden's half-fake laptop story.
Well, that was Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez blasting Republicans and the New York Post at this week's House Oversight hearing on the suppression of the New York Post's Hunter Biden laptop story, a story which you just heard her calling half fake. Let's bring in our panel to get their take on this. Former Trump White House advisor and also host of the Gorka reality check. There he is, Dr. Sebastian Gorka. Always love having him. And also joining us is another one of our favorites, constitutional law attorney Ameer Benno. Ameer, great to see both of you guys. Dr. Gorka, let me start with you. What's your reaction when you hear AOC saying it's half fake, especially based on all the information that we've heard, not just from the New York Post, but many others in the media, and even from Hunter Biden's own legal team in the last week or so?
Well, Rita, I think I should quote a former Democrat senator from Illinois who said, elections have consequences. We're not having hearings on killing more babies in the womb. She said abortion rights. Guess what? Because you lost the midterm terms, AOC. So we have a new speaker, Kevin McCarthy. We have a House that is in Republican control. So we get to decide what America talks about in that chamber. And this half fake thing, I mean, think of what's happened in just the last 10 days. I think Hunter Biden, for all the millions of dollars he scammed from communist China and Burisma in the Ukraine and the former disgraced mayor of Moscow's wife, I guess he doesn't have very good attorneys because they demanded a halt to these proceedings because you can't access our client's laptop. But I thought it's not his laptop. I thought it was a Russian collusion conspiracy. So here we have his own attorneys confirming for us it's real. All the emails at 10% for the big guy. So it's about time we had a hearing.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting because then they try to backtrack on that. His attorney, Abby Lowell, basically said, well, you know, the information in there is right. We're not necessarily using the word laptop. The parsing of words was really a classic. Dr. Gorka, let me go to you, Ameer, because at the same time, Hunter Biden's legal team is trying to kind of go on the offensive. They're going after the laptop repairman. They're saying that it was illegally, basically the information in whatever laptop it is, that ambiguity that they're trying to play with there, but basically saying the information shouldn't have gotten out. It went out illegally. The laptop guy is saying, wait. Hunter Biden dropped it off. He never picked it up. It's fair game to keep. Will this go anywhere? And what do you think of that new legal strategy on behalf of Hunter Biden?
First, you're right. They're trying to have their cake and eat it too. They're trying to say it's his, but it's not his. And the legal strategy is intended for one reason. They're trying to scare people so they don't testify. They invoke the Fifth Amendment because he's saying, look, you violated all these federal laws by going into this laptop. But like you said, Rita, not only did Hunter sign a work order that gave permission for that technician to go into the laptop, but he didn't reclaim the laptop after 3 months. And by the terms of the agreement, it became, he forfeited it at that point. So there's really no merit to the legal argument. It's intended to intimidate people from testifying at this committee hearings. And whether that works or not, we'll see. But the one thing that's really interesting about that clip with AOC is she said, we could be talking about civil rights. But this is civil rights. This has to do with a deep state collusion with big media companies, with high tech, with social media, and the First Amendment implications on that, like we've never seen ever before in suppressing speech having to do not just with Hunter Biden, but Joe Biden and COVID and the vaccine and any number of things that the liberals get themselves worked up over that they like and they don't like to hear opposing viewpoints. This is a civil rights issue. This is the First Amendment front and center, and AOC doesn't realize that, or she's trying to gaslight people in order to try to pretend that that's not what this is about.
Yeah, great point. And you know what's interesting? Also, Dr. Gorka, I was stunned. I was watching a lot of the hearings, and a lot of these now former Twitter executives basically said, yeah, in hindsight, we're sorry. Sorry, you just brought up the word, that elections have consequences. There were many polls that came out after the election that said, had they known about the laptop because they didn't see it because Twitter suppressed it, they may have voted differently. I mean, it's outrageous. You can't undo that, Dr. Gorka.
No, you can't. When you see polls that a majority of Democrat voters would have voted differently if they'd known the Hunter Biden story, if it hadn't been suppressed. And let's be clear, our colleague is absolutely right. The New York Post broke the story of the Hunter Biden laptops before the 2020 election. That is the oldest extant newspaper in America, founded by Alexander Hamilton. That story was suppressed. I couldn't retweet that story. You weren't allowed to tell Americans, hey, there's something you should know about the Democrat candidate's son and his ties to enemy nations. And now we know what? An individual who was at the center of the cover-up of the Hillary emails, the Hunter investigation, suppressing that, and also the attacks against the president, James Baker. He was chief counsel for the FBI, and then magically and seamlessly, he transforms himself into the deputy chief counsel for Twitter. And as soon as Elon Musk buys it, and he says, release the information, I want the world to know about government suppression, James Baker is unilaterally filtering the information before Elon Musk fires him. Yes, this is about civil rights, and this is about government collusion with big tech to suppress information that had political ramifications. And we need to get to the bottom of it, Rita.
Yeah, we absolutely do. The American public deserves answers. Dr. Gorka and Ameer, Benno, really great to have two of my favorites here. Thanks so much for being here, guys.
Thanks, Rita.